All right, now you did most of your fighting at Albuquerque, New Mexico. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience fighting there?
I grew up here, a small farm town, 1,500 people, and fighting wasn't big, and so what I had to do was just pack up, move out, hit Albuquerque, New Mexico. That was the fight capital of the United States, and got there just learning every day. Took in as much as I could. I showed up and like, hey, I don't know anything, teach me. And ever since then, man, I was out there just fighting and keeping it going like that.
Now you got to pay the bills somehow, and I figure when you're out there learning to be a fighter, probably the knowledge you gained is pretty valuable to the customers in the area. Do you spend much time teaching?
Oh yeah, that was my main thing was coaching, teaching. I was nominated for Coach of the Year by NewMexicoCombatSports.com. I love coaching. It's been a passion for me, and when I'm a little older and done with this and my body can't keep up anymore, then that's what I'll be doing full time.
Well, it was a bit of a loaded question because I know I've personally been checking you out on USCombatSports.com's Technique of the Week. So if you want a scouting report on this guy, check him out doing Technique of the Week on USCombatSports.com. He'll teach you a thing or two about jiu-jitsu, and we'll probably see a little bit of boxing getting there eventually. But obviously, as a teacher, you were very accomplished. As a fighter, you've got a lot of fights under your belt, but not so many that you've been beat down. Tell us a little bit about your actual fight experience and how you feel about where you stand as a fighter.
I still feel like I have a lot of miles left on me, man. My fights, I go out to win, put on a great show. I'm not up there, trying to hold you down or just try to get the big win and not care what the fans think. I want to put on a show.
No lay and pray?
No lay and pray, man. I want to put on a show. Win or lose, we're going to get out there and we're going to fight, and the fans are just going to love it, and that's all I want.
Now, I know I personally watched you train, and you are one of the most flexible guys I've ever seen. It's actually a little disturbing, to be honest with you. Tell me a little bit about your nickname when you're training with the Gracie Barra guys.
Man, they call me Gumby. They think it's funny, man, because I can put my leg almost behind my head, so they pick on me all the time about that.
Well, we call him Big Country. They call him Gumby. Well-rounded guy, professional boxer, Gracie Barra Jiu-Jitsu. Obviously an extremely experienced fighter, but also an extremely talented instructor. You were nominated for an award as an instructor. Greg Jackson coming away with that award was probably a little disappointed, but hey, at least you're in the same breath as Greg. What about fighting? Do you have any awards, any nominations you'd like to tell us about from your fight days?
The same New Mexico Combat Sports also nominated me for Comeback Fighter of the Year, which meant a lot. Those things mean a lot to a fighter. Also, just throughout the years of fighting, man, it has its own rewards. It's not the wins, the losses. It's the fans coming to you and just telling you how much it meant to them to watch you fight. That's what it's all about.
So I'm going to ask you another loaded question. This is the story you shared with me. Why don't you tell me about, after a really tough loss, an opportunity to understand why you do this and to really feel what it means to be a fighter beyond just wins and losses?
Well, it was after a tough loss, and I was taking it kind of hard in the locker room, and I was leaving the venue, and it's kind of down, and this kid comes up, and the kid was in a wheelchair, and he wanted my autograph on the poster, which, was cool, it's always fun. But he's like, man, that was awesome, and you did such a great job. And I was like, well, I kind of lost, if you noticed. And he's like, no, he's like, I wish I could get out there and do that. And he's like, every time I see you out there, I just love it. And he's like, I kind of lived through that. So, that kind of hit me, and I was like, all right, that's why I fight. It's for him. For people like that can't get in there, that can't step in the cage, that want to, I get in there and, put on a show for them. And if it's just for that split second, they get to live through that, just because they've connected with me or they know me. And then, that's what it's all about at the end of the day.